Hi, Andy Nelson. So I have a question for you. If I say the word Brixton, what comes to mind? Now, for some of you, it might be nothing at all. For others who are geography buffs, you might have thought of I believe it's a town somewhere outside of London, or it's at least in England, I know that. And perhaps it may be a town in other parts of the world as well, even in the United States. And then some of you might have thought of a apparel brand based out of Southern California that's really come on strong in the last several years. And it was a client of that I worked with when I was at my last law firm some years ago. So Brixton is a trademark for that brand. It started out selling kind of revival, I don't know if that's the right word, but kind of classic hats, fedoras and things like that. And they brought that back, and that's really how they made their name. And they expanded into broader categories of what I'd say is youth lifestyle apparel. I can pull off a couple things here and there from those, but typically they don't work for me. But it's a great brand, certainly a great brand. But the point is this: Brixton is, I guess, originally a geographic term, and a lot of businesses will use terms that have some geographic meaning as part of their brand name. And historically, these can be tough to kind of protect as marks. Remember, the function of a trademark is to point to a single source of goods or services to the extent it can, right? That's what it should be doing for you. So consumers can distinguish you from a competitor. But geographic terms historically don't have that single source meaning, right? In the consumer's mind, historically, a geographic term typically indicates, where a business is located or maybe the community it serves. So, when you think about a word like Brixton or another geographic term, if you're thinking that you want to get or have a strong trademark, that may be a geographic term. Think about how, in fact, you are using it. Now, this company in Carlsbad, I think they're in Carlsbad, California, at least that's where they used to be. Brixton really has no particular geographic meaning when related to the goods or services involved. Most of us haven't heard of Brixton. I think Brixton is some kind of industrial town in England way back when. I don't know if it's coal or what have you. It's, so far as I know, it's not known. It's not really well known, period. Two, it's not known, I don't believe, for making apparel. Like maybe it was an old yarn spinning town or what have you. I don't think so. So it has no significance in that sense in the consumer's mind as primarily a geographic term. It is one, but it's not really known as one to the vast majority of the public. And when used with the goods and services we're talking about, it really doesn't have a connection. So that is one use of a geographic term that actually can function as a particularly stronger, I won't say strong, but I think it is a strong mark, but at least a stronger mark than just merely using something along the lines of, where I am in Costa Mesa, California, Costa Mesa Apparel, or Costa Mesa, California, Costa Mesa Cleaners, Costa Mesa Tailors, whatever. That looks to be far more like a geographic use of a geographic term, not really source identifying, or to the extent I begin using it early on, not really source identifying. Could be later, if I use it for a lot of years exclusively, nobody else uses it, perhaps the consuming public starts to associate Costa Mesa Cleaners only with me, then maybe it does really have a source identifying function, but primarily a geographic indicator. And in terms of a trademark, not particularly strong. So think about, if you want to use a geographic term, it could be a lot of things: Pacific, Occidental, Shasta, whatever. Their geographic terms are endless. Think about how you are, in fact, using it to really assess how strong that mark might be for your brand. If, again, you are trying to get consumers to recognize or connect your trademark or marks with a single source of goods. Okay, you don't want to blend in. You want to stand out in that crowded marketplace. So, again, when it comes to geographic trademarks, think about how they're being used and whether your use is a weaker use or a stronger use. And then ultimately the decision is it something that you want to use? Is it wise to use? Anyway, that's it. If you have questions about this video, feel free to shoot me an email or leave a comment. Look forward to talking to you next time. Bye-bye.